and show you how you can add a bit of winter interest to an area of your garden that's maybe a bit problematic. So if you can see out in the garden here, even though it's freezing cold, it's very sunny, okay? But if you come through this area, which has to be totally functional because this is my very ugly closed area, this is where I hang my washing out. If you look at the line of the paving, it's on a very steep slope, but also I spend a lot of my time going to the garage, going in and out of the garden. So I wanted it to look beautiful, and it really does look beautiful in about a month's time when all these ferns start coming back to life. And it's just lush and green, but it only gets sunshine in this piece of the garden for, I would say, 2 hours a day. None of this gets sunshine, so I have to fill it with plants that don't need a lot of light, so hence all the ferns. These are Japanese acers, they love it here. Also, we're right on the coast here in the northeast, on a very exposed site, so we've got nothing out front of farmland, fields to the back and hills over there, so very, very windy garden, and wind is one of the things that acers just can't tolerate, not when they're very young anyway, so this does offer a certain amount of protection for them. Anyway, as you can see, it looks a bit sorry for itself, this area. So what I did was I went down to, because what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut these fronds down. If you look into the soil here, right, and all of the new growth will start coming up. It comes up right at the very base, and this has acted like a sort of protective layer for what's underneath the crown of the plant. So what you do is you just snip all of this off at this time of year. Sometimes if it's really, really windy here, the ferns get a bit damaged, and I might have to do a tidy up during the year, but it's mainly this time of the year that you cut this foliage back. This is a self-seeded plant which is beautiful. It's called Linaria. It grows about this tall and gets a big, a mass of purple flowers on it. It's beautiful and it looks really nice with the ferns, so I just leave all the self-seeders in. And pick the leaves out. And we'll quickly do this one as well. Now if you look in this tub here, if we gently cut back these leaves, you can see that there's daffodils coming up there. Just give it a quick clean up. And all this stuff is completely dead, has been for a few months now, but I might look like I'm just sort of hacking away here, but I'm being careful not to go right down to the bottom, because if you look, take the glove off, these are the new leaves coming out. Can you see them? And this will just be a mass of beautiful green flowers. Do this one. have a lot of trees in my garden out there, so I'm constantly clearing leaves up in the autumn. But the ones that fall in my borders or my tubs and that, I tend to just leave them and they act like a protective mulch. Now you might be looking at this container and thinking, that looks like a very ugly recycling container out of the bin, and that's exactly what it is. But when this fern grows this year, these are the new ones down here. These are them all here. They feel so soft and they just gently unfold. It goes to about this big and it spills over, so you don't see any of this. Right, so this is another one which is looking really big. This is jasmine. Now this isn't going to do anything, these old sticks, so we'll cut them down and they will all shoot away in the summer. Take the dead leaves out. There's another little self-seeder. Not even sure what he is, but it looks like a bit of Solomon seal or something. It's very pretty. So I'm a very I like things to look natural. So I like things going together and just sort of spilling out everywhere and hiding the container that they're in. But to sort of leave that the way it is in these tubs, you know, it looks a bit slightly depressing. So what I did was I bought Heucheras. These are ground, low-growing plants, and you get them in all different colours, lovely names. One is called Marmalade, which I've seen online, but I haven't bought it yet. This one's called the Beacon, and they get, so it doesn't go much taller than that if it was in the ground, but it gets a very fine stemmed flower on it that goes about this tall, and they're beautiful. And I bought these, I think these were £4.99. So I bought that one. Bought these, I mean, look at the beautiful tones in that one. They come in green. They come in, if you come out here, oh, this one's a gorgeous one. These are all Heucheras. This is a beautiful out here. Look how sort of dark purple it is. That one hasn't got flowers on it. Anyway, I paid £4.99, which is really reasonable for a Heuchera. And this is another Heuchera, this lovely green one here. Oh, where Monty? Thank you. This lovely one, and they stay like this all year except they get flowers on as well. But in the winter, I mean, these pots have been frozen solid, and yet that's how healthy they stay. And in the northeast of England, in this garden as well, we get, so the other day it was -1, but it felt like -5 with the wind factor, and yet these just stayed beautiful. So really hardy, tough plants. And what I thought was, rather than have all these quite ugly barren containers, is you just buy some Heucheras and you pop them in like that, and all of a sudden You see, I'm just placing them on the soil. I'm not placing them on the crown of the fern. But all of a sudden, you've got a bit of interest. That one would be better at the back, wouldn't it? Purple. Except it doesn't fit. And then I sort of put some more of these in. And what I do is, when the fern does start to grow, take these out and I put them somewhere else in the garden. I'll either put them in the soil in the garden, or I can put them in a tub, or I can plant them out. You know, I could dig out this trough, which I will be doing, and plant them out in a trough. So I never throw plants away. Actually, I've paid £7.50 for that one. But then I went to a Home Depot, which we have here in England, called Home Bargains, yesterday, and it's a good time to shop for bargains in that type of shop, B&Q, places like that, because they're getting all their new stock in for the new spring season, but they sell off their old stock. So these plants here, exactly the same, I kid you not, that one £2.99, and I got them for 20 pence. 20 pence, they were selling them all off. You can tell they look a bit sort of weather beaten because they've been on the shelf for a few months from last year. Those are the colours that heuchera leaves can be. And so I got some for myself, my daughter, I got some for my sister, and I'm just going to fill up these containers. And if I had more time, I would do this a bit more artistically. But you just start looking at the plants rather than the pots that they're in, because they will all come sort of spread out. This is another idea. So I got small pots of pansies, brought them whole. These were in the little modules, you know, you get sort of 6 at a time. Planted them up in some new compost in bigger pots, and then if you look at this acer, because acers don't really like sharing their soil with anything else, so just a bit of gravel on the top, but it looks very bare. But you just put your pansies in the pots, so you're not disturbing the roots of the acers, and all of a sudden it's no longer there. And these will just get bigger and bushier. I had these in last year, spreading amongst all of other plants, and by midsummer the pansies were up here, because they're not competing with anything else, and they're just in their own pot. So another plant that does really well in this shady part of the garden, very shady part of the garden, is this bamboo. Again, I know there's different types of bamboo. Some are invasive, some aren't. I never take the risk and put them in the garden, so I keep them in pots. And I've got a few. I bought one large bamboo, split it the next year, so now I've got about 4 or 5 of them. But I just grow them in these plastic pots here, but that does very well here. So yeah, I think, oh, this is some other plants that I bought. I saw this in someone's garden. It's called a foxtail fern. Loved it. It was really big and bushy, so I just upgraded the pot it was in, popped it in with Heuchera. That's the, this is off last year. So these are the stems of the flowers of the Heuchera. That's how tall they grow. And these are the seed heads, but they would have been, I think these are pale pink, this particular one. Yeah, Melting Fire, this one's called. And they're just a cheery thing to look at. You can see in this big tub here, I've actually got 3 ferns. So I've got one there, and one there. I can cut him down, that's a bit of an area, but very barren. But you stick some pots of flowers in amongst him, maybe put the fern at the back, and it's just a very easy way of giving some winter interest. And then when you no longer need this to cover up stumps of plants, when the plants have sort of taken off themselves, you just take these and they'll do another area of your garden. So nothing, you haven't wasted your money on anything. And I think this one looks really pretty. While we're here, I'll show you, if you can see on this pansy, that is a flower about to come out, and obviously this one has died, as have these 2, 3. Now what you have to do with pansies and a lot of other plants is you deadhead them, and deadhead them down as close to the bottom of the stem as you can. And what that does is it releases an enzyme in the plant that makes it want to flower again, and it's just called deadheading. And you'll reap the benefits if you deadhead your plants. They look tidier, they look healthier, but also I'll get lots more pansy heads there. Again, this is another tub where you can see it's just a mass of ferns that are all going to spring to life. They look dead, but they're not. They're absolutely hardy. And that is just protecting the crowns from the frost. So yeah, thanks for watching, bye.